The push to repeal the Affordable Care Act is heating up in the nation's capital as Democrats and Republicans go toe-to-toe over whether to scrap the president's signature health care law. On Wednesday, Republicans laid out their strategies for dismantling Obamacare, while Democrats hatched a plan to protect it. Both sides of the aisle are mobilizing for what is shaping up to be the first big showdown during the Trump administration. For more on what this means for the future of health care, we turn to political commentator and author Rich Rubino. Welcome back, Rich.
Thanks so much for having me, Danielle.
Rich, both sides are trying to position themselves as the protectors of Americans' health care while branding the other party as a dangerous threat. It seems as though we're damned if we do throw in Obamacare and damned if we don't, because the prices for many are so unaffordable. Is there a policy that can make both sides happy, a compromise that Trump will also sign off on?
I don't think so. I mean, in the theoretical world, what Donald Trump is saying when he says repeal and replace Obamacare is that there will be the most popular provisions, one of them being that a doctor cannot deny a patient based on having pre-existing conditions. The other, that patients who are up to 26 years old living with their parents can continue to have health care. That's proposed 85%, the latest Kaiser Foundation poll. Those are the two most popular parts of the poll. Now, the mandate, the individual mandate requiring Americans to purchase health insurance or face a monetary fine, that's something that is unpopular, which Trump, of course, does not want to put in. But it's very interesting because it's almost like, Tom Price, who's the HHS secretary designee, assuming the Senate confirms him, he actually has his own plan, which tries to be a little bit somewhat consumer driven, but also tries to keep those very popular provisions. So I think the Republicans kind of want the best of both worlds in there. They want to keep the popular provisions, but the question is, how do you keep those popular provisions without gutting the entire law? And it's kind of a rock and a hard place right now.
Right. You mentioned a few of those ideas. Republicans are throwing out a lot of ideas as to what they want. Some things are currently in the Obamacare package. What are some other scenarios that you're hearing about? Any other ones that are really popular among both Republicans and Democrats?
Those are the two. The idea that you cannot deny somebody health care based on a pre-existing condition, and the idea that children living with their parents up to 26 years of age can stay on their parents' health care plan. Those are the two items. It's kind of the don't mess with me. You talk to Republicans, you talk to Democrats. I mean, 85%, 69% and 89% support that, according to the recent polls. So those are the two that are extremely popular. Those are the kind that you could not take out. So the question is, can the Republicans come up with a plan? And certainly Tom Price has got a plan. There's certainly Jeff Sessions from Alabama has a plan that tries to keep that in, but also tries to repeal the unpopular part, which is the individual mandate. Now, of course, the Democrats are going to try to make the argument. You already hear Chuck Schumer, the new Senate Minority Leader, as of yesterday, I guess, saying that it's kind of like the dog caught the bus. Once it catches the bus, what happens? Well, Tom Price and Donald Trump would say, okay, we're going to repeal it. Then the other question is, there are 20 million Americans who are covered by Obamacare who did not have health insurance prior to Obamacare. What's going to happen with them? And Donald Trump says there will not be a transition, that they're going to consummately replace Obamacare and repeal Obamacare and replace it at the same time. So it's really going to be interesting to see kind of the footwork on how they're going to do this. But in terms of the 2018 midterm elections, which, let's face it, most politicians are thinking of right now, I think the Democrats are going to try to say that the Republicans are trying to destroy healthcare, as they say, make America sick again, is playing on Donald Trump's "Make America Great Again" quote. And the Republicans are going to say that the Democrats continue to want premiums to increase, and that they continue to want a government-centered healthcare. And they're going to say that the government should not be, there should not be the broker of healthcare. That it should be the individual market, which is kind of an American persona, kind of an American view that the market should take place. But it's really interesting to see whether there will be some sort of a compromise in here, because they're definitely drawing lines in the sand. Both sides are right now.
Right, and you mentioned Chuck Schumer. He is calling for an investigation of Trump's pick to lead the health department. Tom Price facing criticism for his reported stock trades in healthcare companies. What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, interesting. Tom Price, he's a congressman from Warm Springs, Georgia. He represents kind of the wealthy area of northern Georgia. Actually, a lot of it was Newton, which is a congressional district. He's the one in the House who basically, he's a doctor. He really hates Obamacare, and he's offered a plan that would try to repeal it. But now, of course, he could be the HHS secretary, although you're right, Chuck Schumer certainly, it shows that I guess there's no such thing as congressional courtesy. They used to say that whenever a House member or Senate member tried to become a cabinet member, very rarely, not since John Tower and the George H.W. Bush administration back in 1989, has that person been denied and been voted down. But Tom Price, right, with this stock trade, you're right, there's obviously something there brewing, and the Democrats might use this as kind of the cause célèbre to display to display corruption and unethical behavior for the Republican Party. The other one is Bob Goodlatte, the congressman from Virginia, who offered a measure to scale back the Ethics Commission, which of course Paul Ryan and Kevin McCarthy, the leadership of the Republican Party, said no. But the damage has been done. Now a lot of Democrats can run with the ball and use it really as a political football. Say that the Republicans really want to, are really in this to try to scale back or try to curtail the ethics investigations in the House of Representatives. It was just a very foolhardy political move, I think.
Yeah, those Senate confirmation hearings are underway next week. Rich Rubino, as always, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.